Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Whoa. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
There's our abrupt end. I thought you were going to fix that, Chris. All right. Welcome to Billy and Willie's workshop.
Leave Carl Winslow alone.
we watched Chappelle's monologue from Saturday Night Live before.
So what'd you say after you watch him, Bill? You want to quit?
Yeah, he always makes me want to quit. But I always watch it.
Yep, I do too.
That's what's weird.
Yeah. Plus, we're watching the Iowa game up here, and I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this many white guys on the court since Church League. Holy cow! My God.
Oh, there you got better all of a sudden. I don't know why
What's
your
wrong with my
audio
mic? It just changes.
Weird.
Goes in and out. I don't know. Could be me.
No. Are you on the mic? You're on the mic.
I'm on the mic. I'm right here.
Yeah. See,
I'm eating it.
How's it? Back to being weird.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We got to figure that out. Something's not plugged in right or something.
What's up?
Anyway.
We got a new president.
Watching the Iowa. We got the Iowa game rigged up.
Yes. We got the Iowa game on 6-4.
Unfortunately for our audience.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in apathy mode. So I'm not.
I know. This is you're out of it because now it's just like, we almost have as many people down here in your basement as they probably do at Carver right now. That's kind of sad to think.
I think the fan base in general is just kind of apathetic when it comes to basketball.
Well, it's life in general at this point. Let's be honest. We got a new president, the election, half the country mad, half the country's happy. It's just everything's half-assed anymore right now. That's what it feels like. Like even with our sports. You got your basketball, it's half-assed. Everything's half-assed. We got to get excited about something, Billy. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
We're apathetic about everything right now. It's just kind of
because everybody, I feel like, I think maybe as a society, like as a population, we're just waiting for something bad to happen all the time.
Yeah, we're waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Nobody wants to get fully invested.
Yeah, instead of waiting for the country to be great, you have half the people just wanting him to fuck up, which is wrong. You can't.
Yeah, like just to be right.
Yeah, just to be right, you would hope something goes wrong, and that's not the way to. That's not.
Well,
the way
especially
to live our lives.
especially now because it's the second term.
Yeah.
So now there ain't shit you can do about it.
No.
So what do you do the next 4 years? Do you just do you spend all your time trying to stop him from doing anything that he wants to do? Like, do you think he's going to damage the country that much?
You know what? Here's the thing and maybe I'm not paying enough attention, but he was here 4 years ago, and I don't remember anything going really horrible as far as, and I'm just talking for myself. My life never really changed between him and Biden and where we're at now. The only thing was bad was obviously the virus, but other than that, I don't know. And I guess, I should maybe thank my lucky stars. I'm in a spot where things aren't bad for me. That I don't have relatives that are going to get deported or things like that. So,
I'm in that boat. Like,
You gonna get deported?
What good is all this fucking white privilege if I never get to use it? Like,
you need
what's
to go.
the point?
I don't know. You should be sitting up there with Musk and Zuckerberg.
Like, what do people like? Honestly, like, okay, I know there's a privilege that exists. I acknowledge that. I've always known that.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
That's why I don't.
I've never pretended that it wasn't a thing. But here's my but.
Okay.
Are we supposed to like purposely suffer because like make ourselves suffer? Are we like are we supposed to atone for our privilege somehow?
I don't think so. I don't know. No,
you know?
I don't know if I'm right or wrong. All I know is that I do realize I do have white privilege because nothing really changes in my life, which means I'm in a sweet,
no matter what.
So
we have I guess really kind of the ultimate form of privilege is if we were to not vote.
Right. Yeah.
Because we know it doesn't matter for us.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I try. I want to do the right thing.
I try to vote based on everybody else, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds like I'm fucking tooting like I'm this fucking saint or something, but realistically, like we said, I know I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
No matter what, I'm always gonna be fine. Nothing in my life will change at all.
Yeah, exactly.
For the most part.
I know, and there's the white privilege right there.
Yeah. And so because I know that, then now, okay, what matters to these other people? What matters to the marginalized people?
I know.
And then you have to sift through that.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can't. The most racist thing in the world is to pretend as if every ethnic group thinks the same.
Yeah.
And votes the same and acts the same. Like that in itself is racist to make those assumptions.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you explain Trump winning the Latino vote? So
I can't.
Well, you know, if you're a Latino and you're voting, that means you're a citizen. You're a legal citizen of the country, right? Illegal aliens can't vote.
No.
I think there's people out there.
They made a deal out. They made a deal out of that, like that was going to happen. And
it's impossible.
That was never a point of. That was never a point of contention.
So
really,
is it possible? Can we entertain the thought that maybe the Latinos that are here legally also don't really like the illegal ones?
Oh yeah.
Do you think?
No, I agree. I definitely think that's.
Can we entertain the thought that the people that came into the country the way you're quote unquote supposed to? Now, I'm not subscribing to any of that. Like, if you live in a third world country and you don't have any money, you don't have the means, and all you got to do is swim across a river or figure some shit out, I would do it.
Yeah.
In a second. So I don't say this to pretend as if I don't have empathy for those people, but I'm just trying to explain how I'm trying to wrap my mind around if the Trump presidency and the whole Trump thing is so racist, why did so many minorities vote for him?
Yeah,
how do you explain the Latino vote and he's got this strong stance on immigration?
Everybody's got a point of view. That's the whole point. Is that you don't realize, but they do have a point of view. I mean, you could sit and watch CNN and MSNBC all day long and watch it and think, okay. And then you go over to Fox, you're going to hear the complete opposite. And quite frankly, I'm not smart enough to know who's fucking telling the truth.
Well, and that's what's bullshit.
The
media isn't supposed to have a point of view.
No. The bottom line is
the media is supposed to report the truth, no matter what that might be.
Well, that's not. I mean,
and that's impossible.
No, the bottom line is this: in this country, they're not ready for a woman yet. It didn't matter. They didn't. They weren't ready for Hillary. They're not going to be ready for her. It doesn't matter which. If somebody said, "Well, if a qualified woman came along," no, Hillary was qualified. It's there. This country doesn't want a woman. I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Do you think Hillary would have won if she was never first lady?
I think the whole thing with her and Bill was wrong in the first place. People kind of looked at her like, you let him get away with a bunch of bullshit.
Because their marriage is a business deal,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Their marriage is what's it called? The Kevin Spacey show,
American Beauty.
The you know what I'm talking about? The one that was on Netflix, that fucking where he's the president, ended up being the president.
I don't know.
You remember
House of Cards? House of Cards.
House of Cards. Yeah,
House of Cards. There you go. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I think that was the problem all along. Yeah, because Hillary was definitely qualified, but I just think this country just doesn't want a woman president. I mean, I know I personally got relatives that have actually said to me on hushed tones, I can't because she's a woman. I
think the country is more sexist than it is racist.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You might be right. Yeah.
Because I think that a minority man has a better shot.
Well, we had Obama, so we proved that we can do that.
Shot than a white woman.
Yeah, exactly.
So that tells me, but at the same time, Barack wasn't all the way black.
Exactly. That's true too.
His mom was white.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if that changes things for some white people.
I have learned that this country is very, for the most part, it's pretty ignorant. There's a lot of really ignorant people out there.
You can't watch Idiocracy. Terry Crews is the president.
Yeah,
he's too black to be the president.
Yeah,
in real life. That's why The Rock has to be the wrestler that ends up being the president.
Exactly.
He's lighter skinned.
Yeah. It doesn't quite offend.
So you have to. You can be a kind of black. You just can't be too dark.
Yeah, that's right.
I think.
Well, you think maybe a lesbian president? I mean, maybe if she would have came out and said, "By the way, I'm gay, and so I still like women too," or something. I don't know.
I don't think. Would we elect?
Yeah.
Does a gay man have a better shot?
Well, Buttigieg, in all reality, that's the guy.
Does he have a better shot at being president than a white woman?
God, maybe, but they both neither one of them really have a shot. That's like the three-legged horse or the blind horse win the race. Neither one of them do. Yeah.
If what I say is true,
yeah.
If the country is more sexist than it is racist,
yeah.
Is it more sexist than it is homophobic?
See, now I'm really confused. This is a fucking Rubik's Cube. I don't know.
Well, because what do you do now? Who's got? Let's just say that's all we got.
Yeah,
it's Buttigieg versus. Let me think of a good. What's her name? Are there any Republican women?
What do you call it? The crazy ass woman that whom I think with the three names that's from Georgia.
Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
So you got Marjorie Taylor Greene versus Buttigieg.
I think she might. I don't know. I mean, Republicans are pretty. I mean, they're a lot stronger than I remember.
Pull up a picture of her for us, Chris.
Yeah.
Of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And what happened to Laura Loomer? She's still around, Chris? What did Trump do with her?
I think her and Musk got into it, and I haven't heard from her since.
Oh, really? She got into it with Musk? Well, she's gone then. Because President Musk will take care of all. Did you see those three guys up there? It looked like fucking Marvel Comics. Zuckerberg, Musk, and Bezos.
Yeah, that is a disturbing image to me. That feels like that's almost just like, we're rich. Fuck you.
Yeah, we're just peons in this whole thing. We're just pawns in this whole.
But
they're gonna run everything. What do they call it? Oligarchy or oligarch? What's it?
Oligarchy.
I
don't fucking know how you say it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But here's another thing. What's more important in our daily lives right now than social media?
Well, there she is. She's got guns on her too. She looks like a dude.
Okay, so she
hates Laura Loomer. She made it very clear that she didn't like
her versus Buttigieg.
Buttigieg is brilliant. He really is. She's a moron, but you know what? If we've learned anything, the public doesn't really care how smart you come off.
Pete would destroy her. Pete would destroy her.
He would destroy anybody. He's more qualified than anybody. He should be, but the problem is he's gay, and I don't think the world's
that's what I mean. I don't. That's what I wonder. Who wins? Again, these two.
She wins in a fist fight, but I don't know who wins in the actual. He wins in a debate. You know what? All this. Let's just go past all this. All this shit doesn't mean anything anymore because she beat his ass in the debate. It wasn't even close. And so, what did it mean? It meant nothing.
Well, well, that's what happens when people have their side chosen already because they're just going to explain everything away.
I mean, think about everything he did.
There isn't a fucking thing Donald Trump could do to get people that voted for him to.
Well, wait a minute. If he shot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue, oh yeah, he already said that. Yeah. If he said that he was going to run for a certain political party because there's a stupider than the other, oh, he already said that. Yeah. If he said he was going to blow a microphone, oh, he already did that. It doesn't matter.
He was fucking grifted everybody.
Yeah. But like I said, I didn't vote for him. I don't like him. I think I don't like him at all. But at this point, he is the president. Go get him, buddy. Go.
Well, and now you don't get to Now you don't get to do everything you can to stop him from getting another 4 years.
Yeah.
He can't have 4 more.
Well, that's the scary thing is with these people that are there now. Things may, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
What do you call that?
The only thing that's going to stop him is the fact that he is
martial law. Yeah. He declares martial law.
But he's aging to the point of where if you don't think he's going to be exactly like Biden was at the end of his run, and Biden is 82 and looked every bit of 82, and you could see Trump slowing up too. He's 78. I guarantee you by the end of this run, he'll take himself out.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
No, because look at this from 78 to 82 for Biden.
Yeah.
When Biden got elected, he wasn't this. He didn't look like he looks now.
No, exactly. No,
the office does that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that's what I think is going to happen to Trump.
It doesn't happen to Trump because he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's true too.
Trump, look at his first 4 years.
Yeah.
He's the first president ever that I've seen in my lifetime that looked the exact same 4 years later.
Well, because
he doesn't give a fuck.
He's a different color of orange. I mean, there's more gray in his orange.
The point is, he doesn't get stressed out.
No, he doesn't stress it
because he's doing exactly what he wants all the time. He's just playing with stuff.
That's what I learned. That's what people that have the heart attacks aren't the people. It's the people that give the stress, not take in the stress. And he gives stress. He doesn't take
100%.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter anyway because he's not. I mean, Musk or whoever they're going to build, maybe a fucking robot that will probably run the country.
But back to what I was originally saying. What, you look at those 4, but Bezos, what in our country is more important than what those 4 guys represent?
Nothing.
As far as everyday life for normal people.
They control the media. They control
everybody spends all their time on Facebook.
Yeah, social media.
X, Twitter. I don't know who owns Instagram, but
and what do? We buy stuff.
We buy all of our shit off of Amazon,
exactly.
And everything we're consuming is Amazon related.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is bringing out. Here's the real fucking mind blowing thing for me is. You look at Trump's voter base. The last thing those guys want is electric cars. All they do is make fun of the battery. You needed this gasoline to power your battery for your. Elon Musk is the king of the electric fucking car.
It's all about. It's like Landman.
So
fucking show,
So what happens now? Are we? Do they all of a sudden start embracing this?
I have no fucking clue. I mean, here's what my thing is this. When I look at what's going on right now, number one, I don't know if Trump will make it through because he's going to piss off the Ukrainians because he's not going to fucking help them. He's going to piss off the Palestinians and Hamas might fucking take a shot at him. Or China or somebody else is going to send another fucking virus over here that will kill us because Bobby Kennedy Jr. won't give us any vaccines. So, I mean, it's all bad shit happening. I don't know. But once again, I'm in that sweet spot that shit don't happen to me anyway. Although I might get another virus.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Right when we say that, it's like, well, wait a minute, maybe it will matter. Yeah. I mean, here's the scary. This can either be scary or it can be positive. Like the Trump administration has no excuse to not get anything done because they've got everything. They're running the show. They shouldn't be stopped. Like no matter what they want.
There should be no excuses,
right?
At this point,
so there's not going to be any excuses. Now you can look at that in a positive way or negative way because they also get to do whatever they want now.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's going to be funny is like we're talking right now. And in 4 years from now, if we're still doing the podcast, I mean, it'll be funny to say after that 4 years, well, what's different? What's different? I mean, will there be anything different? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's people out there that they spend all day just looking at the shit and studying the shit, and they will let you know one way or another how things are going to change. But as far as I know, I mean, will eggs be down? Will gas be down?
Well, that's what I mean.
How's your 401k? How's your fucking IRA doing?
This is the thing about the stupid. This is the dumbest part. I mean, he said things that were equivalent to running for student council president.
Well, you made a statement upstairs that is true. Is the fact that you remembered 4 years ago just being embarrassed for your country.
Yeah,
watching him at some kind of summit and just saying,
and that's,
oh my God,
that's the only thing I don't, we were talking about how nothing really affected us.
Yeah.
And it's true. The only thing is I just look at him and he embarrasses me.
Yeah.
Just like I'm embarrassed to have him at a global summit of any kind.
My whole problem with all of this is that I just don't like the guy. I don't like what he stands for. I just don't like him.
Well, he's a grifter. He's ripped people off his entire
life. I don't
life.
what bothers me is the people that voted for him and that love him is, if I hear one more person say to me, you don't have to like him. You just have to like his policies. I'm sorry.
Now tell me those policies.
Well, no one can, but they can say he's going to make this a country a better place. But one more person says to me, you know what? You don't have to like the person. You have to like. And I'm like, well, guess what? Okay.
I do, but I do.
Yeah,
I do have to actually.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'll jump in here because I'll jump in here real quick because my argument to that has always been, okay, well, if it's the policies only, there was 5 other options in the primary that were running on the same exact policies.
Mm-hmm.
But you chose the guy that's divisive, rude, crude.
Yeah.
Says
well,
terrible
they chose
things.
The guy that would win. Is what they did.
Well, then it's not the policies.
Yeah.
Then.
But here's my thing,
but it is.
Yeah.
They chose the guy that would push the policies and get voted in. Like, I'm playing devil's advocate. To
I understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, like, yes, it is. Like they are saying, look, we know that he's a piece of shit, but he's going to do what we want. And this country's so fucking stupid that they have to vote for the guy they saw on TV. Mm-hmm. The people, because most people don't educate themselves in any of this stuff. They just vote based on sound bites and headlines.
My thing is this, though. I'll tell you
pictures.
This. I am rooting for him. I am rooting for him right now because rooting for him means that our country's going to do better. So if he makes me eat my words, I'm fine with that. I really am. I'm rooting for him. Go get him, Mr. President. But I just don't. Well, I don't know what to say.
And what's that? That's my favorite. Politicians are always talking about how they're going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. What exactly? What exactly are you and how?
He's the most vague. I mean, every time he talks, it's like I didn't understand a word he said. He just kind of
like when he got shot, right? And he stands up and puts his fist in the air.
Wild.
He's literally going, fight,
yeah,
fight, What is that? What do you mean?
I don't know, but how was that? Let me ask you a question. I was around when they shot at Reagan, and I remember the Secret Service jumped on him. You didn't fucking see him again until he was in the hospital. They got on top because that's their job, is to make sure not another bullet. These guys let him get up for a photo shoot. Yeah. I mean, he got in between him with his arm up in the air with a little bit of blood and did the fight thing. They let him. It's like, who lets him get back up? I mean, it was almost, and then you look at it. The flag's right behind him. He's standing there. He's got the trickle of blood. It's like, this is a fucking photo shoot. And then he goes on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan, who's supposed to be the beacon of truth, he's looking. He doesn't even have a scar on his ear after getting shot with an AR-15, and doesn't question, like, shouldn't there be a little more damage in that? I mean, I don't know. Fuck. God bless him. I'm
okay. No, wait a minute. Though. You think it was staged? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think maybe it was. Yeah.
Okay, now. I want you to put on your Democrat hat. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Now, Alex Jones comes out and says Sandy Hook wasn't real.
Yeah. Okay.
How is that different?
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. I mean, no. That's why I'm just telling you, and I'm not going out and putting it all over Facebook. I'm just saying,
actually, in my mind, you just did put it all over
Facebook. But I don't care enough. I mean, I'm just kind of like throwing it aside. I mean, I'm not. I'm not going to fight for that. I'm not going to say this is what happened and let's investigate. I'm just kind of. But yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
I say that to make the point. Yeah, like you're talking about upstairs.
No, you're exactly right. That's how this kind of stuff gets going. I mean, yeah.
So like when we were upstairs, we were talking about I saw all over. This is why, like, when it comes to Trump now, like I'm doing double, like, making sure, like, people. Well, we'll get to the Elon Musk thing later in a second, but like every time I see a headline, like, I want to find out more because if I do it based on that headline, like today, apparently he rescinded some kind of executive order that Biden had, that the headline says he rescinded this executive order that made
something about Medicare
drugs cheaper for people on Medicare.
Right.
Some other medical things, now they won't be cheaper. Apparently, I don't know. This executive order made these things cheaper. Trump rescinded it, right? Okay, now before I just go, oh well, that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Can I find out why? Like, did Joe Biden sneak 3 other things into that executive order under the table because they do that shit all the time.
Yeah, go to Fox and they'll let you know that's what he did.
In there. You know what I mean? Or was there some other thing that was more expensive because of that? So like, I say that to say this. I see that headline, CNN. Let's just call it CNN, right? Or let's call it a liberal news source.
Yeah.
You see this headline that says Trump rescinds Biden's executive order that made Medicare drugs cheaper for Medicare patients, right? And then that same exact executive order that he rescinded is getting talked about by whatever conservative news, Fox or whatever, right? And they're like, Trump rescinds Biden bill that made hospital stays more expensive for middle class Americans.
Yeah.
And both of those things might be true.
They both sound true, don't they? Yeah.
So like,
I don't know. I mean, it's like,
that's why
he said, she said. I mean, and somewhere in the middle, the truth lies.
And that's why I'm saying I'm just going to use my fucking white privilege and not give a fuck anymore. Because
that's where I've been living.
I mean,
that's where I've been living for all these years. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you get yourself, like I said, we're in that middle road where you get yourself upset. And I'll watch CNN and I'll go over to Fox and go back and forth. And then finally I realized that, you know what? nothing's really changed in my life. I mean, I can get myself upset about this, but it's not, it hasn't really affected me to this point. So
I believe that there is such a thing as information traveling too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think social media is bad.
Yeah.
Is it allows knee-jerk reactions.
Well, that's what happened to me. I never was anybody that really followed politics. I just kind of like I said, I just kind of stayed in the middle there. But once this thing got revved up, I started watching MSNBC and I watched CNN, and then I went on a couple podcasts where very, very liberal people were talking. And then of course you go Seth Meyers and you go fucking Jimmy Kimmel and all of a sudden you start going, oh, okay, Trump's a maniac, Trump's an idiot. They're showing him for what he really is. Oh God, he's got no chance of winning. They're showing how stupid he is. He's got no chance. He's got no chance. And then the election comes and it's like completely wrong. They were completely wrong. I mean, Taylor Swift with all her Swifties didn't make a difference. Barack Obama, the greatest orator that we've known in our lifetime, all those speeches didn't make a difference. I mean, it's like, what the fuck? None of that mattered at all. I mean,
because the only people that are watching those speeches are the people that are already going to
vote for them anyway. Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The person who wins is the person with the stronger base.
And the thing is, I didn't like Trump and his people, because every time the liberals would show a Trump rally, it was with all those fucking maniacs, the people with all the Trump clothes on that couldn't answer a question because they really didn't understand what, and you're like, I'm not an idiot like these people. But that was just one segment. I mean, I'm sure if I was watching from the other angle and they went to a bunch of liberals that are crazy ass.
You can man on the street the fuck out of anything.
Yeah, and change it to where, whatever that point of view will make whatever you're looking at look like, oh God, that's moronic.
I remember one of the funniest fucking things that, what was her name? Lucy Rodin or something. She was a Iowa student, and she made these videos like she would troll Iowa State and shit. And she went to Ames and was like interviewing, before the Iowa State game, she was like interviewing Iowa State students, and she would just go find these nerds and be like,
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like, let's just say our quarterback at the time was Nate Stanley. And she's like, so do you think Nate Stanley and the Cyclones are going to take it to Iowa? He's like, oh yeah, we love Nate Stanley.
There you go. Like, yeah, exactly.
All you got to do is find the right person. And I mean, and people have always done that.
Yeah.
Like, we used to get pissed off growing up when they do a news story about our side of town or North High or whatever. They would always find the most ghetto fucking representation they could. And or they would talk about, oh shit, dude, was that I don't know, what's the Traore or whatever just fucking hammered one on somebody's head. That was awesome.
Minnesota up by 4. 2 minutes left.
I like this Traore dude. I like this kid. Like, if he could get some traction. But anyway, what were you talking about? I got distracted by that.
They still look like Wells Fargo if they had a corporate basketball team. Look just like the Iowa team.
Yeah. I feel like Josh Dix is like a bona fide baller, but I don't know.
So anyway, well, basically what you're saying is, no matter what, people can take a side of the story that it might be how even outrageous it can be, but if they put it together right, it will make you think that it makes sense, and you'll go, because that's what happened to me. I got into watching Seth Meyers, who's so funny, Jimmy Kimmel. But they went after Trump so hard, and they made Trump's people look so stupid that you thought to yourself, there's no way this guy's got a chance because of what I'm seeing. And they led me down a road of lies and deceit. So, I mean.
Well, and but you were consuming the media that you were seeking.
Yeah, but I was entertained by it. So I'm not upset.
You were watching the like-minded angle.
You're a libertarian, right?
I mean, gun to my head.
Yeah.
I've registered everything at some point.
No, my thing is I always register.
I'm registered. I'm actually registered independent.
Yeah. So
right
I mean, but I watched Bill Maher, and I really like how he thinks. I kind of think like mine likewise like he does. I mean, because I've never been. I mean,
he's a more realistic liberal, like.
Because I have voted Republican before. I mean, I've gone both ways. It doesn't. I vote for the person rather than just the.
Bill Maher lines up a lot. I would consider myself, if I had to pick a person that I aligned with, mostly he'd probably be it.
Yeah,
like because he's the uber bleeding heart liberals drive him nuts too.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
He doesn't like that fucking bullshit.
That's what happened to me, and that's what happened to the country. It's kind of we just
and
what you talking about, the obituary you saw the other day drove you nuts?
Oh, the fucking
they did the pronouns were they and them. So you thought a bunch of people died? They were basically they will be interned in. You're like, how many times you got to dig here?
Yeah, like that's a great example.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, like this obsession with transgenderism and all these other things. Like both sides were so obsessed with this.
Yeah.
And I just think most people don't give a fuck.
No.
And none of it really matters to anybody, but it gives you a fucking horn to toot.
Yeah.
And it does get ridiculous. Like the pronoun thing is just confusing. It's not. I don't give a fuck what you want to be called. I'm happy to call you what you want me to call you.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about, there was somebody died. There was an obituary or some kind of tribute that I was reading to this person that was apparently gender fluid. I don't even know what's what.
I don't even know what the fuck you just said there.
I think gender fluid just means they just identify as
the gender just
whatever.
Flows?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so their pronouns were evidently they and them, right? So they're like, we're gonna miss. Let's say this person's name was
Cecilia.
Yeah.
Also Cecil.
This person's name was Kevin Smith.
Okay.
Right. And they're like, we are all gonna miss Kevin tremendously. Kevin loved to play with their nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Kevin was the best. They will be remembered fondly, and they will always. And it's like, now my brain is
who's with Kevin
going like, wait a minute, is there more than one?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because they so badly don't want to say him or her.
Let me ask you a question, because
but here's the thing, and that I will say, and here's the argument again. Like when I'm like right now when I'm explaining this out loud, I sound like an old fucking idiot. Because at the end of the day, it's like, oh, did you have to decipher a couple of words differently when you were reading the obituary? You fucking idiot, right? Because that's what it really comes down to. But you can see though how most people aren't going to take a minute there. You know,
here's my thing is, once again, living in the bubble, I'm living in my life hasn't really changed. I've met, I know some transgender, it's very nice, but I've never been in a situation where they've ever put me on notice. You know what I mean? I know some people that are transgender, but they've never said to me, oh, by the way, my pronouns are this. I mean, I've never had to confront that ever. Have you?
Well,
has anybody ever came up to you and said, oh, by the way, here I'm they that? I mean, because I've only
known for sure two transgender people, and they both like were fully transitioned basically. Yeah. So they were him and her.
I met a while back.
One of them, one of them was went male to female, and it was just she, and it was just like it was a girl.
Italian guy comic out of New York or New Jersey. Julie Scotty's his name now. It's she. She went on America's Got Talent and everything. I worked with her in up at the Borgata in Jersey.
Mm.
And, you know, I mean, when we first met, I mean, she was, you know, an older guy. I mean, older woman. Take that back. Julie Scotty, very funny comic too. And, but, you know, she never put me to the test of, oh, by the way, I go away this, that. You know, we're just like, hey, how you doing? I'm Julie. I'm okay. And then later on, somebody said, you know, Julie used to be a guy. And I said, well, I could kind of, I mean, you could still tell. He looked like an old
Yeah,
guy.
but obviously trying to be a woman, though.
Yeah,
Once,
yeah, she's, yeah.
So her pronouns were she, her.
Oh, I don't know. She never said to me, my pronouns are didn't put
She,
me
right,
in that situation.
because you never addressed her in the wrong way.
Right, yeah. Exactly,
other than the way that she wanted to.
Well, but I don't get what's the they them thing. Why do they go by that? That means that they're just there could be either. Or what does it mean? I don't even know.
There are people out there who believe that, and I may be wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
There are people out there that believe that gender is a social construct. Gender is a real thing. It's a way to label, divide, whatever, right?
Wow.
So there's people that believe that. Now, that's different than your sex.
Mm-hmm.
Your sex is male or female.
Yeah.
Right? But your gender is whatever you want it to be. That's what their viewpoint is. I believe.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that explanation makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, if you think about what we were talking about earlier, if you're talking about, you know, is the country more sexist than it is racist? Well, you know, maybe someone, if we remove that gender as a social construct, if that weren't there, maybe there wouldn't be a glass ceiling, so to speak, for women in the corporate world.
You know what, Billy? I'm 68 years old, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't give a fuck at this point about any of that. I really don't. I mean, I just don't.
I know, but I'm just trying to.
But on the other hand, I mean, maybe I should, because I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe my daughter will have a kid at one time, and the kid will be like that, and then I'm gonna have to deal with it then. But at this point, it's like I got too many other things I gotta worry. You know, you got.
Well, we don't have to care about it.
Yeah,
we don't have to worry about it, but we can understand it somehow so that we can have a fucking conversation.
I am, yeah.
I mean?
My thing is, I am sympathetic to everything. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I am sympathetic to whatever somebody's got in front of them. I mean, if I met somebody tomorrow that said to me, I would be them, I will gladly follow along to whatever they need. I mean, I'm not fighting any of this, but
okay. No, and nor should you.
Yeah. Because some people will fight against it. Fuck that, I'm not going to do that.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care either.
No.
But the pushback is bothersome.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's something that's changed in my life that I'm glad or maybe proud of, is that my default now is to try to understand something first before I form an opinion.
Yeah.
Like I used to just right away, and you know, it doesn't mean that something won't strike me emotionally or something where I will have a knee-jerk reaction that maybe somebody irresponsible or something. But like, I think one thing that's changed in my life is I will try to understand something to a level. I want to wrap my head around it. I want to get it. So like
Iowa State has a better football team than Iowa. Can you record?
That has nothing to do with social construct.
Okay. just trying to shake the cage.
And they don't. Okay.
Right.
They got lucky and they play in a shit conference.
Okay. Let's move on.
But like I said, like like we were talking about upstairs when we were the they them thing, and I'm reading the obituary.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing, and I'm talking about like, okay, so now is it plural? Or did more than one person die? Yada yada.
Exactly.
But then as we keep talking about it, and I keep saying now, all of a sudden the counter argument pops into my head. Like, oh, what kind of little fucking cunt are you? You can't just figure it out when you read the obituary, you dumb fuck. You know?
Yeah.
It's like when all of a sudden I shouldn't say all of a sudden, but like I think we've talked about this before, like the F word. Like that, I used to say it freely on stage.
Everybody did,
right?
Everybody did.
And then all of a sudden, it wasn't cool. I shouldn't say all of a sudden, but it wasn't cool, right?
Yeah.
And I had that same thing happen in my head.
Yeah.
You know, my first reaction to that was, "Oh fuck, man."
But you know, like most of the time when you would say it, you didn't mean it.
No, you didn't.
You didn't mean it in the sense that,
to me, I love to say that to a homophobic person.
Yeah.
Like nothing will piss them off more.
Yeah.
Like nothing than telling them they're gay.
I've had gay friends ever since I was a little kid. I knew what people were gay, and I mean, I knew it. But on the other hand, I've used the F word. I've said things like that before, but never in that way. I meant it and more, instead of saying like you're homosexual, I meant it more you're a pussy, which meant I'm. You know what I mean? I didn't mean it in the way.
But you see where that gets. You see where that gets fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
You were calling him. You were saying it in lieu of being a pussy. So now all homosexuals are little bitches.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's exactly why.
Yeah.
It's
let's like try to be better people, Billy.
Like there's women. Like women. Well, you know, when you call a dude a pussy.
Yeah.
Like there's women out there that think that's a fucking. What do you call it? Toxic masculinity or something. Because you're implying that you know a woman can't be tough.
I don't deal with. You know what's funny is because I'm just old. I'm 68. I don't have to deal with. I never have to deal with that where people just call me on shit. I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just not around that to where I get called on shit. Have you been around it at all?
Yeah. I mean, I have a super bleeding heart liberal sister that'll try.
Yeah.
But I usually just
on stage. Has it happened to you very often?
No, I had it. No, I mean, people will. There's been a couple of times where I made fun of religion, and some people got mad about that. You know, there'd be a couple of Jesus freaks after the show, and I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember the bits that I was doing at the time anymore. But there was one guy that said that I said cancer was funny because there was a lady who was heckling the whole show. And I said, I finally just got sick of her, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, you know, like, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And she was obviously around Christmas time, and she's like, I will have a Merry Christmas because I'm cancer free.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, oh fuck. Ugh. And I'm like, oh great. So now we got to talk about cancer. I'm like, because that's funny.
Yeah.
And this guy fucking took that.
The guy got mad at you. Was he with her?
He was with her.
Oh Jesus.
And she said, you don't. Or I said something about not giving a fuck or something. Yeah. And they were like, you don't give a fuck about cancer? And I was like, oh no, I'm glad that you're cancer free. I just don't give a fuck that you're gonna have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. That's funny, and that's the right answer.
And then after the show, they fucking not after, they got up and left during my set. And this was me. I was opening at a one-nighter at this time. And
you know, this leads into some of my Reddit stuff that I have.
Really?
Actually, yeah, I stumbled upon a stand-up comedian Reddit stream.
So there's plenty of those. That's a fucking cesspool, man.
So I pulled a couple funny items,
like comics arguing about how to handle something, or
no. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But I think probably now is a good time to take a break.
Okay.
Yeah. How far are we in? 50 minutes?
Yep, 50 minutes. So We get a break from our sponsors.
Halftime.
When I
About
come
to
back,
come back second half.
I've got 3 things I want to talk about tonight. So
Cool.
Can't wait.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
When energy meets precision, anything is possible.
I'm Carter Hawley, the Chief Energy Officer of the Iowa State Cyclones. I'm full of energy on and off the court, but nothing gives me more energy than helping families find their dream home. And that's where Green Beret Realty comes in. They're more than just realtors. They're a team dedicated to getting things right for you and your family, just like we get it right on the court.
No basket. That was on the floor before the shot. Out of bounds.
Come on! Can you believe that? You can't take that away from me.
That call was absolutely terrible. Are you guys cautiously trying to be this bad? I mean, does your mom not love you?
Have you seen how old my partner is? My back hurts already from carrying him all night. And I've heard enough out of you.
So you're gone.
Fine.
Jim, are you blind? Basket's good. We've got a three-pointer. Sometimes it takes a team to get the call right. And when you're buying a home, you want a team that makes all the right calls. That is Green Beret Realty. And here's the best part. When you buy or sell a home through Dan at Green Beret Realty and mention this ad, he'll make a donation to the We Will Collective, helping student athletes like me thrive on and off the court.
That call's so easy, even we can make it.
Green Beret Realty, because getting the call right means everything.
Oh, bet. Sorry, I wasn't ready. Willie had to pee. He's moving slow. He's got the old man bladder.
So this, I'll give you a little bit of I read this Reddit, I don't know, about 3 or 4 days ago, and I'm rereading it, and you will be shocked that it's almost identical to the story you just told.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So we'll wait for Willie.
Did you see that when I was there?
Yeah. We're back on.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah. Brig, stop. Lay down.
I love this dog.
Yeah, Willie
I
gets him all,
absolutely love this dog.
gets him all riled up. And I can't get
My
my
boy.
Brig, come on, lay down.
So Willie,
Go on.
Yes.
Willie, I read this Reddit story about 3 days ago, and I'm going through it before we talk about it, and it's creepily almost identical to the story that Bill just told.
All right.
So, what's the etiquette?
That guy came at me, by the way.
What's the etiquette for audience members who get picked on? Was I rude? Last night, my girlfriend and I went to a comedy show at the hotel we're staying at on vacation. There were 4 acts that were pretty good, but the first 2 acts kept referencing or asking audience questions like who you are, where you're from, how long you've been together, etc. Started out all in good fun, but the second act honed in on me and started calling me Baldy and tried to turn the fact that I'm bald into what seemed like his main act. I lost my hair when I had cancer and went through chemo. Sure, I was predisposed to it, but the main reason I lost it so young was the whole chemo thing. So I simply said, chemo took it, hoping he'd move on to his actual jokes. He told me I didn't have to make it awkward and kept going on. And finally said, please move on. This seemed to really upset him, and he said a few things that were basically how rude I was and not fun. I don't know. It hasn't sat right with me since, and I'm curious, was I out of line? I know sometimes comedians try to pull from the audience, but I felt really was trying to make myself a target, and I would have been fine if he moved on a little sooner, but the way he acted offended that I asked him to please move on isn't sitting right with me. Was I in the wrong?
Not at all. Not at all. That's a comic that obviously did not know.
Not prepared.
No, he wasn't prepared. He wasn't ready. No. That comic, you go to somebody, you do stand up long enough, you go to somebody in the crowd, and if for 1 second it doesn't feel right, you need to know that quick that that's not where I'm supposed to be.
You got to feel that. Yeah. Like the difference between my situation that I was describing earlier in that story.
Yep.
Is this was a table of people that were heckling and being rude. I didn't ask them any questions. I didn't go at them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's why I, for the most part, stay out of the audience unless something's going on that can't be ignored that I need to address. But most of the time, I just plow through whatever. But like I said, this lady was being rude, and this comic invited them in, and then obviously wasn't, at the same time, I don't know what kind of story this guy's telling, how much nobody ever tells these stories with them doing anything wrong at all.
Right.
So, when at some point while this guy was fucking with him, was the audience laughing?
Doesn't say.
Or was it awkward? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If the audience is loving it, which I doubt the way he's describing it, but the way he's like, he just kept coming at me. Well, why would he keep coming at him?
Bottom line
if it wasn't getting any laughs.
Bottom line is, if anybody in the crowd ever tries to move on, that's
it.
That's end of that. Move on means move on. You go to somebody. You don't keep poking the bear. I mean, that's just a comic that's just not prepared.
That just yeah. I mean you're right.
Yeah.
If you're doing what you do.
Yeah.
Like when you're a crowd work comic.
Yeah.
You're
And if someone tells me in the crowd, move on,
you usually
don't have to say one more word.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, if someone in the crowd won't shut the fuck up,
okay, that's a different story.
Yeah,
it's a different
because
story.
I don't ask people questions.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So if somebody in the crowd won't shut the fuck up, and I ignore them to the point where the audience hates them as much as I do, because that's always been my strategy. Is I give them the rope.
Yeah.
Especially if they're right up front, because the rest of the audience can't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So you snap on that person too early, you look like the asshole.
Exactly, because they don't.
Yeah, you look like you can't handle your shit.
Yeah.
So what you do is just wait until everybody hates them, and then you don't even have to be clever. You just tell them to shut the fuck up. But the point is, if I start going at that person and the crowd's loving it and they tell me to move on, no, fuck you.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, no.
You know what I mean?
If they pick the fight, that's a different story.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, if you say something,
if you're asking questions, if you're inviting the crowd in, and someone tells you to move on, then you absolutely.
Yeah, and also if you say something to somebody about your hair and they say chemo took it, I don't know how you. I mean, where are you trying to find the funny there?
Yeah, how do you not just go completely?
Sorry, I don't want to make this awkward. God bless you. Hope your life's going better. Hope everything's working. Move on.
Well, the smart thing to do in that situation is go completely self-deprecating.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where you just go, oh, I'm the worst fucking comedian.
Yeah, my bad.
You will endear yourself.
Yeah. So we're having a good time until the comedian picked on the guy with cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking beat the shit out of yourself over it.
Exactly.
And the crowd would love it.
Yeah. So the guy.
You just tell yourself what a piece of shit you are.
Yeah.
Like you have this. Yeah. You have this verbal altercation.
You say, well, somebody says later, well, they went home later and said, how was it? Well, it was good. until the comics started picking on this guy with cancer, and the guy told him he had cancer, he was losing his hair, and the comic kept at him, kept calling him Baldy, even though the guy was saying, I'm on my fourth batch of chemo, and please leave me alone. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah. But no, that if what he said exactly happened what he said, then the comic's way out of line.
Yeah, and do you think the guy even remembers the comic's name?
No.
I bet you he has no fucking idea.
Okay. The other story I found from there, and it got me. I'll read the story and then I'll ask you a question based off the story. Dealing with self-esteem issues. So I did my debut comedy performance the other day. It went surprisingly well. There was a crowd of about 40 to 50 people. And I was nervous that I was going to flop since I'd never done it before, but actually went much better than I expected. People really liked my jokes, and there was lots of laughter. I was on cloud nine, was excited to watch the video back, but when I watched it, it was like a punch to the gut. The actual comedy was pretty great, but I was really proud of myself in terms of joke delivery. I stumbled upon over my words a bit on a couple occasions, but I was expecting to be perfect since it was my first time. I wasn't expecting to be perfect since it was my first time, but I just hated how I looked. Does anyone have any tips for getting over feeling self-conscious? I really enjoy performing, blah, blah, blah. My question to you guys is do you remember your first time on stage? And what was your feelings afterwards? Were you nervous? Obviously you must have been nervous, but did you have some self-esteem issues afterwards? Tell me about your first time being on stage.
I've actually got video.
If you remember, Willie, that's.
I was I'll tell you what. It was January of 1980. So we're looking at.
And you were this was at the Playhouse.
That was at the Ingersoll Dinner Theater.
Ingersoll Dinner Theater. Yeah.
KCCI taped it. So we got
to find that tape.
Oh, I've got it. I've got it, and it went. And here was the deal. It was I can remember the night. It was a big night. There was a heckler in the crowd, and he was heckling other people. And when he got to me, he tried to heckle me, and of course I came back at him, and I got an unbelievable review. It was crazy. I got a big review telling how I'm an up-and-coming stand-up comic, blah, blah, blah. It just went really...
After one time.
Yeah, it was my first... It was 45 years ago. So
crazy?
Billy wasn't even in the ball sack by that point.
I was one.
Oh, you were one, okay. Yeah.
I was born in 1978.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Billy.
No,
that was it. It went
crazy.
Surprisingly
well. Publicity, right?
That guy was on the news and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah. So my first time, I was fucking crushed.
Yeah.
If I were to watch that, I bet I could dig them up. I think I still got the tape. They're all VHS, but I bet I can find it. I bet I have it.
What year was it?
2000.
Okay.
I went to this. It was every other Tuesday at Billy Joe's.
Yeah.
Rob Rivera's comedy show.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he always tried super hard to make it so that he didn't want it to be called an open mic. It was a showcase.
Yeah. Because
there were professionals there. So he thought people didn't come to open mics. He wanted them to think it was a show.
Sure.
And I remember there was a time where it was jam-packed full of people on a regular, I'd say for almost a year. And it was great. It was really fun. But anyway, I went to this show every 2 weeks for about 6 months and watched. And I just remember there was, it was the same 10, 12 guys.
Who were the guys? Are the guys still working today?
Just Jared Dog.
Okay.
Well, Josh Alton.
Yeah.
But then there were all these other guys, and they would all do the same 5 minutes every 2 weeks. And so I remember right away I tried to be like, I don't think I repeated a set. I didn't repeat a joke for 6 months.
Oh wow!
And I did really well.
Yeah.
I'd say about the 6 months mark, I started eating a dick every once in a while. But anyway, so yeah, the first time on stage, when I first, you see me now, I don't even take the mic out of the mic stand, but I wore a hole in the stage back then. I was trying to be fucking Fred Durst at comedy. I was gonna be the fucking rap 90s rap metal fucking comedian. And so yeah, I did really well, and I actually, when it came to watching myself, Rob used to video every set. Like I had probably my first fucking year worth of 5-10 minute sets on tape. And it's so funny that this guy like hated watching it because I couldn't fucking get enough. Like, because I did well, so I was like, I wanted to relive it over and over and over.
Did you watch yourself perform now? Can you watch? I can't watch.
I can't now. Yeah,
I can't watch myself at all.
Back then, I was delusional enough that I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
So I watched, and it actually did me well because that's how I put together my first half hour. Was I took all those tapes and sat and watched them, and I was like, okay, this works. And then I put shit together.
Yeah.
I've never done that again, and I probably should.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I don't know. I mean, do you feel like you got lazier over the years? I think I definitely did.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
But then there's also the skip the middleman part, you know, where you're kind of right on stage.
Yeah.
Where you didn't do that before.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you first start. That's what they tell you to get down, right? Get a piece of paper and write. You know,
like right.
Go on the road. I can remember going on the road with other comics, and we'd go to the mall. And then the old joke was, "What'd you do?" We went to the mall and watched the headliner buy stuff. But you know, you go to the mall, and then of course, then you go home. You go back to your motel room, and then write for the afternoon. And you know, I tried that for a while, and then after a while, I'm not the guy to sit down at home and go, let's see, alphabet soup. Okay, let's see what I can get out of that. I'm not. I just live my life, and if something strikes me as funny, I'll say, maybe I'll talk about that later. We've both been lucky in that we've been able to get. We're not LA and New York comics to where we've always been able to get stage time.
Yeah.
Where you know live in a big city, it's like that time's precious. To where here, even today, I mean, we can go somewhere where there's an open mic somewhere and know that we could get up if we wanted to and do some time.
Yeah, you gotta earn that out there.
Yeah.
Which you have to earn it here.
Yeah. Well, we have to earn that's it. The problem. Yeah. We have earned it here. So if there's an open mic somewhere,
going out there would be starting over.
Yeah. We went to the Beachwood tonight or whatever they're doing comedy. We could get up and do some time.
Sure.
If we wanted to.
Well, we could go to the Funny Bone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do yes that. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I think all the time about, when I first started back there at the old Funny Bone with Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I did shows for free for
a
couple. It was always, if he called me, he gave me a check. But if I called him or I didn't get paid.
Right.
And then when the new club opened, I never not got paid again.
Exactly.
It was just
But we've been lucky in where we've never. I mean, I know comics.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't watch myself now. Yeah. It's cringy now, but back then I couldn't get enough.
But I mean, comics that live in bigger cities that, I mean, literally, I mean, you have an easier time getting on stage here in Des Moines, Iowa than you would in LA where there's a million clubs, but it's tougher to get on stage and get yourself 5 minutes to where here it's an easy thing to do.
Well, and I'm acknowledging in my older age, I'm a little more ego driven than I like to admit.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so that, that was just really, it fed my ego. It made me feel good about myself. And like, I see it with my son. We were making fun of, me and my brother were making fun of him. We all went to Vegas several years ago.
You making fun of little Billy?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all went to Vegas like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were on the plane, it just so happened that my son was sitting right next to this guy. We were going for SummerSlam for WWE deal.
Oh, okay.
So most of the people on the plane, that's why they were going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's sitting next to this guy that I guess trained for a minute at the plate, like knew him.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And they used to train at the thing. And, he's like, oh, I see you're wrestling, shows or whatever. So all of a sudden, like on the plane ride, we look over and my son's like watching his match.
Yeah.
Like watching matches on his phone. He's got it angled just enough so this guy can see it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's working.
And
working.
Me and my brother were just fucking hammered. Oh yeah, make sure that guy sees you. Like, man. Oh, you don't know what happened, do you?
Yeah.
But you haven't watched that before. Are you really studying to get better right now? Like you just want that guy to go, oh, cool, But I get it. I get it.
This? Oh, I didn't even know you saw it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just studying,
Well, believe it or not, I went to my third article, and I went to go to the article, and the original poster had deleted it. So I do not have a third one today.
Do you remember what it was?
Something about his wife had gotten a new job. He wanted to know if he was an asshole because his wife had just gotten a new job after being unemployed for 7 months. And he already knew that she was late to work a few times and whether or not if he was an asshole, if he got mad at her because he's afraid she's going to lose that job already.
No. Why would that make him an asshole?
I wish I had the article. I saved the link. I literally just read it like an hour before I came down here.
So he fucking got in trouble.
Yeah. I'm thinking his wife found his Reddit account. Yeah. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, I better delete that or I'm not gonna get any pussy.
That's right.
That's right. So, but it said she hadn't worked in 7 months.
She hadn't worked for 7 months. He was carrying all the bills and so forth. And he knew that she wasn't getting to work on time because he knew what time she had left and what the commute time was, and there was no way she was going to make it to work on time.
Yeah, so she's staying you're late all the fucking time. So she probably doesn't. Is that why she hasn't worked in 7 months?
Probably. Maybe that's why she got fired from her last job.
Here's the thing about that. She probably hates it or whatever, and there's probably like, this is one of those double standard deals because if that's a man that doesn't work for 7 months and then gets a job and he's late, fucking, and she, there's all kinds of women are gonna be like, "Oh, you need to leave him. He's a worthless piece of shit." If a dude does that, he's still a worthless piece of shit.
Hey, Chris, I just sent you a thing on message. Did you see it?
Yep, I got it. I'll have to queue it up for next week's pod. It'll be interesting to queue it up.
But it's like
for next week's
guy
pod,
can't,
No.
That's a double standard. I've talked about it a lot because most double standards, I will agree, when it comes to male versus female, most of the double standards are benefit the male part. But I think relationships are 100% dominated by females.
Well,
I think they decide fucking everything. And like for example, there's two examples I will give you, and I guarantee everyone relates to this and has seen it. You're at work and you work with a bunch of dudes and it's a Friday and they're like, hey, we're all gonna go to happy hour at such and such place after work. Oh well, let me see what we got going on. I mean, shit, I call you and you, hey, let me see what my wife's got us doing.
Yeah. The thing about my wife is I don't need to do that. I do that just out of respect because my wife could give a fuck what I do.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is like, he's like, oh, well, I got, and it'll all be a joke. It'll be, oh, you got to tell the boss. Yeah, that's the boss. Right. Now, make it a female. Hey, we're all going to happy hour after work. So, well, let me ask my husband. Let me see.
Is he beating you?
What? That piece of shit. You don't have to ask him anything. You do what you want, girl. You're a queen.
Yeah.
Fucking blah, 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 blah.
Well, let's be honest. If you're in a relationship you want to be in, you are punching above your weight, which means you're with, I mean, I can't tell how many times people have looked at my, when you were married. I mean, it's like people look at your wife or your girlfriend, and they look at you and they go, "Oh well, God, you better just fucking, you better stay on the straight and narrow because you to keep that in your life." You know what I mean? But I mean, but you're right about. I mean, I've been in both kinds of relationships.
But there's that whole saying, show me a hot chick, I'll show you a guy that's tired of her shit.
Exactly. No, and that's shows. Let me tell you, my first Billy, you saw my ex-wife.
Yeah, your first wife
she was hot, but in Maniac. But I mean, and so was your wife. I mean, but exactly. But
Maniac.
Oh, Maniac. Yeah.
Sociopath.
Chris, how many times you been married?
My girlfriend's pretty hot.
Twice. I've been married twice.
Well, we're the 2-time club.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I reset and made the right decision the second time. So
hello.
I did better. I mean, my girlfriend's hotter than my ex-wife.
Yeah, I love your girlfriend. Your girlfriend's fantastic.
So like we're good there.
Yeah. And I'm going on 30 years next month.
I do have the knack for outputting the coverage.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's all the charisma.
I mean, sure. I don't know what else it could be.
It's the Iowa tracksuits is what it is.
It's tracksuits.
She's going, God damn, you look good in that black one. If you got a gold one with a Hawkeye on it, oh boy.
You best believe. The gold one.
All right. We got to end this show.
Got to do nothing but stay black and die. Yeah, we'll get out of here. Watch the. I was down by double digits
against the worst team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I can't. I'm laughing at this fucking. The thing is, I don't want to be right about this.
I know,
but I'm just laughing at this argument I had like a week after they got beat by 30 by Wisconsin. And I saw it
on Facebook. Yeah.
I can't believe how. Is that person? I'm not gonna out him on this, but like, how the fuck are you watching the same basketball that I'm watching?
I know.
Like, how are you really watching this team and you're going like, all I'm saying is I love Fran.
Yeah.
Always have. We were fucking horrible before he showed up. And it was fun to watch basketball again.
Mm-hmm. I love his offense is fun to watch. I love to watch a good offense.
And I love his passion. I love having a guy that fucking yells at the refs because I fucking hate him too. But I feel like the fan base as a whole has become very apathetic.
They've abandoned him.
And I don't know that it's necessarily about him as an
down by 11.
Yeah, I don't know that it's necessarily about him as an individual that has them so apathetic, but I just think that with the lack of attendance and if they don't go to the tournament this year, I just feel like
he's gone.
He's got
to go.
I don't think he's got to go. I don't think he's got to go. I'm not sitting here saying they should fire him. I just think they will.
DeFreeze should have been there last year.
Yeah.
So
I hope that they if they do part ways with him at the end of this year, I hope they put a full court fucking press on DeVries.
Yeah. And the football team needs Marcus Freeman. So other than that, we'll be fine.
Marcus Freeman,
Notre Dame's coach.
Oh yeah, Marcus. Oh fuck. Yeah, well that's
I
don't know. I'm hoping when Kirk leaves, who would you want him to go after? Is there anybody?
Marcus Freeman. No, I don't know. I mean,
okay.
The scary thing is every time you do something, every time you get rid of an icon, you got a few years of like horrible shit coming up.
What do you? So I would like to see him go after the guy at Missouri.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Is that a lateral move? Do they have more money than us, or do we have more money than them? What do you think, Chris? How do you think we compare to Missouri? But they're in the SEC.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, I think Iowa's a better job.
Yeah, I would think so.
Iowa in the Big Ten is a better job than a basketball team in the SEC.
Right, but
short of Kentucky,
Missouri's football team's good.
We're not talking about football program. We're talking about.
No, I'm talking about when they leave.
I apologize. Okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is that a lateral move or do you?
I still think it's a better move.
You think Iowa's a better job than Missouri?
I think Iowa's a better job because I think Iowa's in a better position to make a Big Ten championship game than Missouri is.
Yeah.
Missouri is in the SEC. I mean, it's the same reason why I think Matt Campbell would be a moron for leaving Iowa State. You get the Big 12 is clearly not the Big 10 in the SEC, but it's a much easier path for him to have a shot at a championship every year. Why would he leave?
To go to the playoff every season in the Big 12.
You're not punching above your weight. At Iowa, I don't think that you're punching above your weight, other than Ohio State, Michigan, and maybe Penn State.
Yeah,
but everybody else
has a chance to be like one of 3 teams that gets in, though, if you can get
correct
top 3.
Right. Missouri is head and shoulders below the top half of the SEC.
Yeah.
Just think about when you watch any NFL game anymore. There's always a guy from Iowa on one of the squads. I mean, it's amazing how many people make it.
Absolutely.
Which let me ask you a question: as an Iowa State fan and a non, does that bother you a little bit that there's so many players that are NFL caliber and not that you guys have been bad, you haven't been bad, but you haven't exactly won championships, Big Ten championships, and made a bigger splash in the college.
Because you know why? Because they're not the marquee. They're not the marquee players.
It's mostly not skill position players.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, I don't know. I mean, you can manipulate stats and years and things to make it, but there's only so many teams that have won 8 games.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. No, I agree.
You know, like to say that. Does it frustrate you that there aren't champions? I mean, we've played for them.
Yeah,
we have won them, and
but as far as the pros, I mean, let's be honest. So I mean, I love the fact that Wirtz and Linderbaum, they're all right and everything. But when you get to Montgomery, Brock Purdy, Alan Lazard, I mean, those are the marquee guys.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck?
Well, I mean, when you're watching the pros,
what do all those guys have in common? What does Purdy and Lazard have in common? Never fucking beat Iowa.
Okay,
yeah. I don't give a fuck.
I don't
give a fuck.
There we go.
I don't care. I'm just saying. I don't give a fuck about what they're doing. I don't care. I care way more about Iowa than I care about the NFL, like any day of the week. But
I know you, buddy.
Here's what I'm saying is this. Nobody outside of Alabama, Ohio State, not even really Michigan, except for a couple years after Harbaugh came. But they were shit for a while and kind of shit now. Yeah. They'll be back. But anyway,
I was top 3 or 4 as far as victories.
Outside of Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, maybe Georgia, and maybe throw Notre Dame-ish in there.
Yeah.
Outside of those schools, nobody can count on being in the playoff every year.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true, yeah.
And even those schools, LSU didn't get in.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Right? But outside of those schools, only everybody else gets a shot every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have gotten a shot more often than most of the rest of the schools.
I mean, like you said, you take the last 10 years, Iowa is in the top 5 as far as victories.
So no, none of that frustrates. I look at that as a successful program.
Mm-hmm.
I look at, you're pumping guys in the NFL right and left, and you can't. We got fucking tight ends all over the place. That's pretty marquee position in the NFL.
Yes, you do.
Laporte,
Hopkinson.
We're gonna have a fucking running back next year, a rookie running back that's probably gonna do okay.
Yeah.
I think. So the only thing we haven't had in a long time is a receiver, but like Smith Marsette's there.
And you never had quarterback.
He's just returning kicks, right?
Yeah, Chuck Long.
Right. But who else?
Brad Banks.
But how many quarterbacks has anybody else had? Alabama, Oregon.
Yeah.
Brock fucking Purdy, big fucking deal. That's one quarterback in 50 fucking years.
What's Rocco going to do?
No. Stenica Wallace, Sage Rosenfels, all played in the NFL. David Archer, played in the NFL.
Seneca Wallace and Sage Rosenfels held clipboards. We've got plenty of clipboard holders in our history.
Sage Rosenfels played a lot. Seneca played a lot.
After people got hurt, they were never the fucking starter going into the season.
We could talk about Steve Beathard too.
Ricky Stanzi held a clipboard. Nate Stanley held a clipboard.
Right.
Chuck Long started for how many years? Don't give me this fucking shit.
All right, so you have Chuck Long. You have Chuck Long. We have Brock Purdy. It's equivalent then.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Okay.
No, you're like.
Here's what I think.
Oh, fuck you, ain't a quarterback. I don't give you that shit.
David Archer played for years as a starter. Shut up.
What? I don't know who that is. What? I don't.
He played for the Falcons. He played for the Falcons. He played in the same era as Chuck Long did. He played for the Falcons.
So what? The late '80s, probably. What, like
early '80s, mid '80s,
probably 88ish, 89ish.
Early '80s.
He played for Jim
Played for the Falcons. No, played for Jim Kreiner. Donnie Duncan and Jim Kreiner.
Oh,
who's the guy that played for the Falcons? That was a quarterback that was from Des Moines.
Who's that? What'd you say?
Played for the Falcons. Was a quarterback, Atlanta, from Des Moines. What was his name?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
With the come to me. He actually went to school in Des Moines. I think he went to St. Anthony's.
Okay, we're wrapping the show up.
Yeah, let's fuck Iowa State. We're
Yeah, I can see why you're salty after our 25-point victory tonight. You should. Man, why don't you go watch your team?
We were saying
the
that.
worst fucking Big Ten team in the world.
We were saying that earlier. Like I was like, just look at. I go look at this game right here.
Yeah.
Why? Like we had Iowa State. And what was it? UCF.
Yeah.
Like, just look at the difference in these guys. Just look at them.
Yeah.
Barkowski. Ray says Steve Barkowski.
There you go.
Who's that?
Was a quarterback. From Des Moines.
Didn't he play for the Colts though? I think he played.
Where
for
did he
go? I thought he played for some reason. I want to say he played for Atlanta. But
now we got to go. Now we got to go look.
Was he an Iowa State guy?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. No, I'm not sure. I know he was from Des Moines though. Steve Bark.
He played for the Falcons.
Yeah,
he's 72 years old.
Yeah.
Played at the University of Cal.
Mm-hmm. Said he went to high school in California,
better than Kirk Cousins.
but he was from Des Moines. I remember that.
Born in Des Moines, 1952 in Des Moines. Yep. St. Anthony's.
Yep.
Ray knows.
That's when I went to grade school.
Ah, these goddamn Catholics.
Billy, want to say fuck Iowa State one more time before we leave?
Yeah, fuck Dowling too while we're at it.
All right, I'm out of here. You guys in the show.
All right. Love y'all.
Peace,
everybody. Goodbye. See you in a week.